Councillor?
Yeah, I'd take a minute to announce that I'm, to say the least, I'm irritated and insulted by the email exchange between the council president and a constituent of his. In your capacity as council president, you have slandered me as a professional, which disgusts me. You insinuate that I know nothing about development, yet I have built streets and roads and developments throughout this state for 30 years, 9 streets in this city alone. I take enormous offense in your self-serving and false representations. Furthermore, you lead the constituent to believe that the only councilor on this council that knows anything about development is Councilor Murphy, and I am sure Councilor Murphy would not say such a thing. I keep my campaign promises. I align myself with no one. I think independently and represent Ward 7 to the best of my ability, and for you to group me with anyone is absurd. You are a member of the Best Practices Committee that proposes open government, transparency, and everything that this action is not. You apparently do not believe a word of the document in which you had a hand in creating. Maybe it was because it was just something for your resume. You intentionally divided this council. You are not receptive, nor do you respect opposing viewpoints, and you do this through behind-the-scenes and backdoor discussions. You are not to be trusted. I feel you disrespect the taxpayer and the council, and for those reasons you should step down as council president, as you have betrayed our trust and can no longer function in that capacity as a leader. At this time, I would like to propose a special election for a new council president. You did apologize at the start of this meeting, but it was only because you got caught. Thank you.
I'm going to, as the chair of this meeting, I want to make it clear that we have not typically had crosstalk around any of this kind of thing. We don't debate these kinds of personal issues. I think that we can do the research about whether or not one can put a special election on for city council president, but I don't think it's appropriate to have tit-for-tat at the meeting. However, you have directly addressed comments to a fellow councillor, and I'm going to allow that councillor, if he wants to respond.
Only to say, councillor, that I spoke with you about this matter. In terms of my openness and transparency, a request was asked of me under the law, and I fully complied with that. It was a conversation that I had with a constituent, and I don't believe, as I read the language, that it was a direct insult on you, other than to say that you have stated that you are a development expert and that you disagreed with the appraisal, and that was my characterization. And in terms of, I'm trying to think of the other issue that you raised. In terms of communicating with the council, I mean, I believe that we have very open communication. You and I discuss issues. We've worked together on many matters. I've worked with all the councilors on many matters. And I believe that if you look at the actual substance of the remarks, I think you're blowing them a little bit out of proportion. And again, I stand by the remarks that I made in the paper about it. And in terms of what we want to do here tonight, we're really in the 1-minute announcement phase. So if we want to go into take this up in new business, we can certainly do that. But I'm happy to entertain that then.
I'm not going to have a tit-for-tat on
yes.
this. I think actually that I'm not sure that we want to have a discussion about election this evening. Councillor Tacy, if you want to call the city solicitor and find out how you get such a motion forward, you're welcome to do that. I will let her know you're going to be calling. I think I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I thank you, Councillor Tacy, for your announcement. I am announcing as a city councillor from Ward 6 that the Ward 3 Association President come forth and give Ward 3 Councillor Angela Plasma, Councillor Eugene Tacy from Ward 7, and I an apology. I do not like to have a label put against me, which was absolutely untrue. So I'm hoping that that president of the Ward 3 Association will come forth directly and sit down with us 3 councilors to find out why we voted the way we did. And I think that would have solved the problem instead of it initiating and causing a bigger problem.
Thank you.